finished all the way toward the end, Surah Al-Naml, some portion of it. And Surah Al-Quran as well as Surah Al-Shu'ara. A couple of days ago, there was one thing that I was talking about was Ar-Ruh. As we mentioned in Surah Bani Israel, that some Jews, they asked Nabi Pak about Ruh. So I also mentioned there were 3 different chains of narration regarding to when this ayah was revealed. 2 I couldn't mention because we did not have enough time. 2 of the narration was, one of the narration was simple as the Mushrikeen of Makkah, the idolaters of Makkah, they always used to think that how can we put Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam down in a way that ask him something and he replies to us that I don't know, so we can, and then we can say on him that you are not a Nabi because you don't have sufficient amount of knowledge. So this was one of the times. What happened was the Mushrikeen of Makkah, again they were looking for a place, an excuse for Nabi Pak sallallahu down or to test the ilm of Nabi Pak sallallahu. So they said let's go to the Jews, since they are Ahl Kitab, they have a lot of knowledge and more knowledge than anyone else about the books. So let's see what they say. So they went to Jews, and so the Jews said, okay, they gave a very simple set. The very simple thing, they said that, ask him about what is Ruh. And the last narration, which was mentioned from the 3rd Sahabi about this Shan Nuzul, or when this ayah was revealed, was what happened was, say, when a person does wrong, at some point of his life, he or she realizes that there is something that I have been doing wrong. There is something wrong. His heart will always say that there is something you're doing wrong, even though at the time when he does something wrong, he doesn't realize it or he doesn't want to understand and rectify himself. So what happened was, the Mushrikeen of Makkah one time they sat together. They came together in one place, sat together and said, okay, let's see. So we have been refusing Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a prophet all this time. And this person, Muhammad, he was born amongst us. He is from amongst us. He became young. I mean, he reached the age of youth within us. And we know who he is, and we always call him what? Sadiq. I mean, we call him that he's a truthful one, and he's the one who can be trusted with anything. So if we call him, so now this is the question that rises up in their mind. This person, we know him for a long time, there is no doubt on the credibility and the authenticity of Nabi Pak as long as, as far as it matters about him being a prophet. Yet he was never being caught lying. He was never being caught deceiving someone. So his credibility is not even in doubt. So now the question is, if we consider him Sadiq and Amin and we never saw anything wrong in him, so what is the exact reason that we don't accept him as a prophet, as a messenger? We say that he is wrong or he is lying when it comes to prophethood. Well, why is that? The question arises in their mind. No. So they said, fine. Let's go to Jews. Yahud. So they went to Yahud. So the Jews said, okay, fine, we'll tell you something. We'll give you 3 questions. Ask him these 3 questions. If he answers out of 3, if he answers all 3, remember, he's not a Nabi. If he answers 1 only, not the 3, he's still not a Nabi. What are the 3 questions? The 3 questions are, number 1, what is the story about those few people who ran away from their king and hid themselves, took refuge, shelter in a cave to prevent themselves from being forced to associate partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning Ashab al-Kahf. So, if that's first. Second is, ask him about the story of that person who traveled from east to the west, who is King Zulqarnain. They call him Alexander the Great in history. But this one is a Muslim. There are 2 Zulqarnain. One was a Muslim, one was a non-Muslim. This is a Muslim. And the third is, what is Ruh? Now, this from here we realize that now they said that if he answered the two questions right, but he didn't answer the third one, that means he is a prophet. So when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was asked, obviously he himself doesn't have any knowledge unseen. So the ayahs, the verses from Surah Kahf was revealed. The first portion of Surah Kahf entirely spoke about the Ashab Kahf, how they ran, why they ran, who they were, how many people there were, who was the dog, and everything. The last portion of Surah Kahf speaks about King Dhul Qarnayn. So the Wahy was revealed, Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam answered as Allah Ta'ala told him to answer, and when he came to what is ruh? The answer was very simple. Nabi Pak didn't expect to say anything. All he said was, it's one of the commandments of Allah. And I already explained how is the commandment of Allah, because everything, every living thing automatically is born out of something. When two things meet, a third thing comes out in a living thing, living creatures. Ruh is one of those things which is considered a living thing. And because of that thing, insan remains alive, a human being remains alive. However, it purely comes straight from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not a result or outcome of two things. This was the two chains of narration about the about this ayah. And then moving on, so the Quran is very vast book when it comes to even the knowledge of science. This book was revealed around 1300 years ago, when there was no technology, there was no machinery, take out stuff to discover new things. No machines, no internet, nothing. This one when the Quran was revealed. Quran mentions about honey. What is honey? I would say, fi shifa'ul linnas. Quran mentions that it is shifa, it is a source of cure for people, for different diseases. And likewise the ayat of Quran, وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ أَنِ اتَّخِذِي مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا. That your Lord, it inspired, and he told the Nahl, honeybee, أَنِ اتَّخِذِي مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا, to create and construct his hive in a very specific way, not like any other animal's house, but in a very specific manner. As when we see the hive of a honeybee, the way it's created is one of the most magnificent way, and anyone can architect anything. A honeybee's or a wasp or a hornet's hive. وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ أَنِ اتَّخِذِي مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا, either created on a very high mountain, وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ, or on a tree, وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ, or on some sort of a very high platform or a high building. Why? Because if it remains on the earth, if it remains close to the earth, there is a high possibility. Now, why is Allah subhanahu commanding a honeybee to construct its hive all the way up there? To protect honey from being contaminated and getting dirty from the filth and the pollution of the honey. I mean, it's not the fact that the dust doesn't fly on the sky. Obviously, it does fly on the sky, but compared to earth, it's nothing. There's more dust down here than up there. That was the first instruction from Allah Ta'ala. Then, ثُمَّ كُلِي مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ, then to take the pollen from some specific flowers. Honeybee doesn't suck the pollen or nectar out of every single flower. There are specific flowers that it goes to and sucks the pollen out of it. فَاسْلُكِي ثُبُلَ رَبِّكِ ذُلَلًا. The Mufassir mentioned the tafseer of this one portion, that the nizam Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for honeybees, and when they go out in search of nectar to suck out the nectar and juice from other flowers, it's a long way. So for an animal to remember its way back all the from where you go, then you come back to where your hive is not easy. But is a mu'jiza, is a karamat, is the qudrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made such that ثُمَّ كُلِي مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ فَاسْلُكِي سُبُلَ رَبِّكِ فَاسْلُكِي, walk and travel on the path of your Lord. That Allah Ta'ala is the one who's sending you, and Allah Ta'ala is the one who's going to bring you back to your hive. And it's one of the most magnificent animals. It's very systematic. Honeybee itself, there are different departments of honeybee, how we keep department of different things in our daily lives. They have a department who goes out to search out for nectar. Only. That's the only they have, that's their job. Then you have a queen who takes care of everyone under it, everyone in that hive. Then you have a department taking care of the eggs that the queen lays, to make sure those eggs are not being hurt by any other thing, to make sure that the baby honeybees are born in a very protected manner. And there are honeybees also which have the job of making sure and mending out the hive if the hive is broken from any portion. Just how we have a plumber, we have people who do construction, who fix up the stuff. When you have a leaking ceiling, what happens? You call a plumber or someone like that, and he takes care of the stuff. You have among the honeybees also, you have people. If a hive is broken from any side, you have the constructor. If you want to make a hive, then you have the laborers. It's a very, very systematic animal, and it's a qudrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed this is a nizam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He can use even a honeybee who can't even speak in order to run such a big system of this food chain called honey, that not if all insan can get together and try to make one drop of honey, they can. Today science has gone so far. Yes, they can add preservative, they can add some sort of some sort of chemical to preserve the honey from going bad, but they cannot create a new honey itself after so many years, because it is only a hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah ta'ala takes work from whoever He wants. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Maulana Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلق محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين.